Hey, buddy.
Kelly.
Good morning.
Good, gray, kind of cold. Not especially cold, but good and rainy morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is definitely the kind of Sunday vibes I like.
I get that.
I don't have a whole lot to do today other than just watch football and eat food and try not to think about next week just yet, but
Spiritually prepare
yeah.
for battle for the next 5-day go.
Yeah. Weekends are just too short, man. Even if I had a 3-day weekend, I'd probably be like, I need 4.
I think the ideal is the 2-day weekend, but then like Wednesday either a light day or also a day off.
So work 2, have 1 day off. Work 2, have 2
2
days.
Sprints. We're scrumming the weeks.
I don't mind that. I mean, there are a lot of jobs out there that kind of do that. Like, you'll work like a real long shift, a couple days in a row, and then have more time off.
Realistically, I try to do work, like things I don't want to do Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Monday are like admin. Monday, like prepare for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah.
And then I do have some important meetings in the afternoon, but they're also to kind of help shape the week.
Right.
And then Friday, similarly, like my, I have an 11 o'clock meeting with a important dude, whatever, but we spend like half the meeting talking about football.
Yeah. It's important.
It's important. And then, Friday afternoons are Friday afternoons. But, yeah, 5-day work week, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's also hard. I guess this time of year is especially just hard for me because, like, I haven't had a normal schedule since probably, like, November. Like, just December with holidays, time off, New Year's, time off, January, some time off, vacation. Like, I haven't had, like, a solid work week yet. Well, I guess this past week was a solid work week, although I didn't get a whole lot done.
But it was the first in a long time, right?
Right.
Yeah.
But it was also, it wasn't supposed to be like a true regular week because I was supposed to go to the Woodlands for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Mm-hmm.
But then that got canceled because of the weather.
We got a spot of snow.
Yeah. I mean, we got a spot. They got quite a bit more than a spot, I would say.
One of my favorite photos to come out of that whole snow event was a satellite photo of the Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
And just all white. And like, that's pretty weird.
Yeah.
That's pretty weird.
It's like day after tomorrow kind of stuff.
A little bit. We've got people that work in Houston and all over Texas.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, similarly, we're all sharing our photos of how the snow went down, and I got a little snow on the car, just the lightest amount on the roofs and the street. Like, it's my couple photos, and yeah, much different in Houston. My parents sent some good photos looking down the street. Like, I had to look at it a few times to recognize it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw some pics of Jeremy's parents.
Mm-hmm.
It looked like they had like a good 3-4 inches on their car. Like,
yeah, nice.
That was a lot. So, I'm glad my company decided to cancel that event because that would have been a whole shit show.
Yeah. You got out in front of it like an adult, and we're gonna drive out there early.
Yeah.
Got a hotel. I'm glad you got that money back.
Yeah. Apparently, I did lose a little money on my rental car. It wasn't a ton, which is fine. But then, this is all just kind of silly, but with my job. But then, like, Thursday, my boss, she's only maybe done this one other time, but, like, she's like, hey, I see everybody's calendars are available. We need to hop on a call really quick, like, right then and there. And usually that's like, what's going on? And then she's like, we're talking with the extended leadership, and we're trying to figure out how to reschedule this event because of all of our schedules and how busy the next few weeks are.
Mm-hmm.
she was like, it's either we can do it next week or we do it in March.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, we don't want to wait till March. So she was like, I know this is short notice, but like, can everybody do that? And a couple of people were like pretty pissed about it because like telling you on Thursday that you got to travel to another state the following Tuesday, it's a lot.
2 weeks notice always.
But apparently everybody agreed enough that they could do it. So now my work get-together thing is next week. I mean, day after tomorrow.
Oh my god. Okay.
But now it's no longer in the Woodlands because the place that we had booked couldn't rebook us.
Right.
So now it's at this place, this like wedding resort in Dripping Springs.
Okay. Okay. It's technically closer to us, but
It's still like an hour from here, but so it's a lot different. So I go out there on Tuesday, which is also funny because I was just looking at the weather today, and Wednesday and Thursday it looks like it's supposed to be storming bad both days. And like they already were talking about the outdoor activities we have planned and stuff.
not gonna happen. Yeah, we got.
God just doesn't want our company to meet. But I don't know. It's I'm okay with it. I mean, I do have other work that like I had planned for next week that I have to push and like squeeze around some stuff and but the whole thing is like right before we got on this, me and you were chatting a little, and then I got frozen because I saw something on my phone.
Yeah.
Just before you got here, I got a text message and an email to my work email telling me about my reservation because the executive assistant books everything for us. But the place that was telling me I had a reservation was not the place that I was told where we were having this thing.
Yeah.
And then I'm like Googling it to see what the place is and where it is, and I like Google Map it to where they told us it was going to be. Because the whole thing too is the place where they told us it was going to be, it is like a small resort, but they don't have that many rooms. And I think there's a good 40 of us going out. This was supposed to be an all-company thing. Or no, not an all-company, but less people are coming to this than were originally going to be coming. But I think there's around 40 of us. And I think I only saw like 28 rooms at the original place. And I look it up on the map, and it's like, it's a 22-minute drive from the place that I'm supposed to be staying now to the place where they told us.
Yeah, we're in the country now.
So I'm like, I was just confused by all that. But then when we were chatting right before we started this, I got a text from the EA, the executive assistant. She was explaining it. She was like, hey, you're going to be getting reservation information from where you're going to be staying. But the place we're actually doing it is still the place we told you we're going to be doing it. So, and then I guess she just, it was a standard thing that she sent to everybody, but she sent it individually. But she was like, there's going to be plenty of people that rent cars to, because like
out of town.
85% of people are not from Texas that
Right.
are coming to this, so they have to fly in. So they're like, there'll be plenty of people to ride, whatever, yada yada. But I was just like, okay, well at least I know that like it wasn't a mistake, and I'm just being put off on an island somewhere. Although the place that I did look at it just for a second, the place that my reservation is at looks pretty nice. So yeah, I'll definitely be out in the country. But that brings me to a funnier thing too. Right now, like I'm right on the verge of getting a new car. I don't trust my car to drive it that much at all right now. So when they told us about all this, I was like, okay, I'm going to rent a car again to go drive and do this whole thing. And I was looking through what vehicle I wanted to rent. And, like, I was like, do I want to get an SUV? I was like, maybe. And then I was like, going out to Dripping Springs, it might be kind of funny to rent a truck.
Yeah.
So I was like, how much does a truck cost? And it was like Dodge Ram 1500 or similar.
Okay.
It was only like $5 more a day than like a mid-size sedan.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, well, hell, we're getting a truck. So I'm renting a truck. I have that reserved, but I'm gonna pick that up on Tuesday.
And it's a Dodge Ram?
Or similar.
Okay.
So I don't know exactly what it'll be yet, but it'll be something like that. So I'm gonna wear my camo Franklin hat, roll up in my pickup truck, say howdy to everybody.
Sweet.
Put on my Texas accent a little more.
I welcome you to my great state.
But yeah, so that's the whole thing. That's what I said I was going to tell you.
Okay, cool.
Really hope we get to go to Salt Lake.
Yeah.
'Cause that's like right out there too.
I drive by Salt Lake every time I go to Wimberley to see the nephew
Yep.
on Ashley's side. And I'm always like, it's right there.
It's been so long since I've been to Salt Lake.
I've been to the one up north sooner than that one. One time we had a National Guard exercise that incorporated like elements, not just from like Texas, but like the nation,
Mm-hmm.
and then a lot of contractors, and it's very successful. And it's like a farewell type thing. We just like bought out Salt Lake, I guess, which was, I don't know if we did or if it was a gift from Salt Lake, because it must have been hella expensive.
Yeah.
It was like 200 people. And yeah, Salt Lake up here.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say I've never actually been to the one up here.
Mm-hmm.
I've only been the one down south, and then I guess the one in the airport.
Yeah, there's a Hat Creek Burgers.
Mm-hmm. I've been there. I've been there.
Yeah. So maybe we'll do that sometime. Take some out of towners there.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. Maybe we should take them to the original one.
I think the original one, that like the fact that you drive out so far into the country and then you get into these like hills and it's real romantic.
It's special to me. And it does like making you wait an hour and a half. Yeah.
I don't know. I like the setting. I like being out in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Salt Lake up here, it's like right next to the highway.
Yeah. Across the street from like Kalahari Resort, and it is the plains. Like it's definitely where the flatness has already started.
Yeah.
Which is the opposite of that southern one. Alright, whatever. So it's raining now. Last night, it started like misting when I put the beef shank, the Thor's hammer, on the smoker.
Mm-hmm.
And also when there was a pretty gnarly accident at the intersection, like down the street. And you call this looky-loos. But they had all these fire trucks and EMS and jaws of life. But I'm surprised it doesn't happen all the time with cars running the stoplight or the stop sign there, being real loosey-goosey about stopping and not stopping. People got to learn, so who knows? Maybe it won't happen for a while. Maybe people will be well behaved at that intersection for a minute. But the night before that, Friday night, Ash and I went to a dog's birthday party.
Mm-hmm.
Like you do.
For sure.
And that was a good time. Fun was had. But Saturday morning, morning, like 3 a.m., 4 a.m., I don't know, I woke up with an insane calf cramp.
Oof.
And not like, oh, it's locked up. Like a brick. Like a literal rectangular, like a rock in there.
Mm-hmm.
And I woke up going, and it woke Ash up. She's like, what's going on? And I was like, just like,
Yeah.
pointing at it. She touched it and she was like, "Oh!" And eventually, it let go, and it's not a brick anymore, but it is still messed up, and it feels like it just got punched in the calf for 30 minutes. Like it's sore now. It's actually sorer now this morning than it was like last night after going back to sleep and trying to walk it off and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, but it sucked, and I guess still kind of sucks.
I've definitely been there. I've had that happen to me before. It's it honestly, it used to happen to me like, I wouldn't say often, but maybe like 2 times a year. But it hasn't happened to me in a long time. There's definitely been times like when it would just wake me up in the middle of the night and it would like be hurting so bad that like I had to like literally jump out of bed to like try to stand up and straighten shit out. And then one time I did that and I fell down because I couldn't support myself because it was a whole thing.
That's how it was. Just went back to sleep and was like, I'll just sleep this off. And then, wake up and do the hygiene stuff and just like putting on shorts. It was like,
But then, yeah, it rips you, like when it cramps so hard, it's just like ripping your muscles apart. So, like, it hurts for days afterward.
Yeah, I guess that's where I am. Oh, it hurts.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. But it was nuts, like, looking at it. Or it was like, somebody put something in my leg. It was just muscle. And, I think it's a combination of... It's been cold. So I haven't been, like, running and doing stuff in the mornings like I normally do. And then Friday... I guess it must have been Friday. Maybe Thursday. But I was doing leg extensions with a lot of weight to failure. And I guess you activate your calf some when doing that. And I guess that combination of just going hard after not really using my legs that much, just sitting around like a week in the office. But that sucked.
Yeah.
And
need more potassium.
I reckon, yeah. More water generally. Never drinking enough water. Drinking enough water, Kelly?
I do actually pretty good with drinking waters.
I'm being good. I got this shaker cup full of water right now.
I don't know how many ounces are in this. Does it say? This is 40 ounces.
It's believable.
I have about 3 of these a day of water.
That's good.
So 120 ounces. It's not quite a gallon, but...
Drink water, y'all.
3/4 of a gallon. No, a little more, because a quart is 32 ounces. A quart's 1/4 of a gallon. So it's 32 times 4 is
128.
128. So yeah, I guess real close to a gallon a day.
So awful cramp. Wake up, go pick up the groceries, and part of the groceries is that beef shank. We got Super Bowl, which is a designated feast day on the calendar here in a couple weeks. So, piloting a few different, things for that, including this Thor's hammer, which is something I thought was like a 7 to 10 hour thing. Found out the first time I did it, it was like 15 hours. This one took 13 hours. I think the last time it took 15 hours because I took it straight from HEB to the smoker. When with a brisket, you would like let it sit for an hour and get to room temperature.
Right.
So I did that this time, and even though I think it's significantly larger than the first one that I did, it finished 2 hours sooner. So that's nice. I got it sitting in the cooler in towels right now, which worked last time. Make sure it works this time. But all of that is in service to Super Bowl and the football gods. You mentioned it earlier. We got 2 p.m. Commanders at Eagles, 5:30 Bills at Chiefs.
I love 5:30 NFL games so much.
Yeah.
That's just the perfect time for me. Yeah, I'm excited. It's going to be a fun day of football.
For sure. I'm going to be happy with any of the outcomes. It would have been nice for Baltimore to go on and end up at the Super Bowl and have a Bird Bowl.
Yeah.
But if you don't like Josh Allen, you're wrong. Like, it's fine to like Lamar Jackson as well, but that guy is just deserves good things. Good kid. He's a good kid.
Yeah. I've definitely, my feelings of him and the Bills have definitely changed. Like, I really wouldn't be mad if they made the Super Bowl over the Chiefs. I will be mad if the Commanders go to the Super Bowl. I'll be very mad.
Over the Eagles?
Yeah. And I don't even care that much for the Eagles. I just really don't like the Commanders.
As a team franchise logo?
Forever. I've never liked them.
Word.
Always just... And I'm not even a Cowboys fan, so I don't have, like, that reason to hate them. I don't know why I don't like them. I just don't.
I have plenty of reason to hate them. Specifically in the personage of Santana Moss in the Tony Romo days, where the Cowboys could have gone to like 2 more playoffs, if not for the 3-13 or 3-12 Washington team of a different name at that time. Just showing up randomly, again, specifically in the person of Santana Moss.
Yeah.
And messing up years. Which I think is like what the Cowboys are going to have to settle for the next couple of years. It's just like having terrible records, but at least like ruining things for some of our fellow NFC East compatriots. But it also feels terrible that this is like an all NFC East conference game and the Cowboys ain't there. Cowboys ain't it.
Right.
That said, my love of the sport and love of the players on the teams. I really like Jaden Daniels. I really like Terry McLaurin. I really like Brian Robinson. And then also just like watching so much and following the drama and individual storylines for so long. Dan Quinn deserves good things. Dan Quinn's a good guy. And obviously turned the Commanders around pretty damn quick.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I also don't have a lot of love for Philadelphia and the Eagles. But also, similarly, they have a personality. They have an identity. And Saquon deserves good things too. And so should probably put them over. But I hesitate to say that because we said the same thing about Derrick Henry on the other side. Different teams, different circumstances, whatever. But yeah, rubber's going to hit the road here in a few hours. And it's exciting.
Yeah. Football's the best.
Football is the best.
But it sucks. We got today of football and then 2 weeks and we get one more game and then it's over.
The game. Yeah, I definitely think it's gotten better for me in the last 2-3 years because we actually do like that spring league football, the USFL, and then like fantasy sports help, like the fantasy basketball is amusing, entertaining, and I think the end of that takes you right to the beginning of baseball. And I do a lot more fantasy baseball than I do actual baseball. I think this year I've been pretty honest or pretty earnest in watching more basketball.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I try to tell Jeremy every time that we've got it on, thinking that it'll spark conversation. We're like, oh, did you see that? But it's never, it's not what happens. But regardless, I've just been enjoying basketball. A lot of nights I'll fall asleep listening to whatever the West Coast game is, which is also nice. So I feel like a lot more plugged in this year. And that fantasy basketball team, I've got SGA. Shai Gilgeous Alexander, and he's like MVP season going on right now.
Yeah.
And I know I said this in text a lot. I don't know if I've said this on the pod. I'll never forgive Corey for taking 3 of my top players from the fantasy team last year. Didn't win it all. I'm always sending him trades for Sabonis. Like, give me Sabonis! How dare you! Yeah.
That's cute.
But he's also got Donovan Mitchell and Julius Randle. I'm like, I know what you did. It's obvious what you did.
Yeah, I was honestly thinking about taking that technique into our fantasy league next year.
Who did Nathan pick last year?
No, it's more who Brian picked last year.
Oh, in fantasy football?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always know we gravitate towards a lot of the same defensive players, especially.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Bobby Wagner. It's like, I got him, Brian.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we need to figure out how we're going to get
The trophy.
The trophy to him.
I'll text him and see if it makes more sense to drive down there or mail it to him. But we'll get it to him. He's not on any of the Zooms, so I don't know if we'll see him for the Super Bowl, but I'll try to convince him to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or at least send some pics with
Nice.
him.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Him with the trophy.
That's smart. And we're committed to just send as is.
Yeah.
Work on it later.
Yeah. Just need to prepare for it more. I wanted to get my eyes on it, see exactly where it was. I think it's good for one more year, but we'll definitely do something when it comes back next year.
Cool.
Nathan was just waving at the trophy for the listeners.
It's nice and shiny. Little light as there is in here.
Yeah. A real cave feel in the house today.
I'm into it. We're actually going to put up Christmas lights on our banisters and stairs like we do for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
Just different lights. Just because we like the ambiance so much.
Yeah. I feel you. I like ambiance.
Oh, that's all the must-hit stuff for me. The rest of it is kind of ranty stuff. Did you have anything else?
No, that pretty much covers it.
Alright, well, it's only been 27 minutes, so I'm going to rant a bit if that's okay.
Rant on.
Google alerts have gotten so bogus. And I think it's a microcosm of everything that's wrong with people, technology, epistemology. Just why is the information ecosystem so piss poor for so many people? And why do so many people think that they know what's going on when maybe they don't? So before the new year, I was getting notifications like deal done between Bregman and Red Sox.
Mm-hmm.
Alex Bregman of the Houston Astros. Headlines like Astros bid farewell to Bregman. As if that was a done deal.
Right.
And because I care about the Astros, because I care about Alex Bregman, Google saw fit, in its infinite algorithmic knowledge, to be like, Nathan cares about these things. This, as I'm crawling the internet, here's a headline that I think Nathan cares about, is interested in. So it puts it as a notification. And I read it, and I go, aw, hell. I go, that's unbelievable. I go, that's important. I need to look into that. So I click the thing that Google put in front of me. And you know what, Kim? Of course he did. Because it was months ago. That headline didn't have shit to do with the reporting, the body of the text that was in the article from whatever outlet you've never heard of before.
Mm-hmm.
But Google, presumably, ostensibly, earnestly, was like, oh, here's a combination of words that makes sense for me to put in front of Nathan based on the things he cares about. And I do care about Alex Bregman, and I do care about the Astros. So I did click it. But because there is just an endless stream of people creating bullshit, we can all have good intentions. I can have good intentions. I'm not trying to be fooled. And Google can have good intentions. They're just looking for things that I'm interested in. But because I clicked that thing, right up till now, I'm still getting notifications of just bogus headlines about Alex Bregman. And guess what, guys? He's still on the Astros. He still hasn't been traded anywhere, despite all these headlines saying, done deal, Bregman to the whatever team. And I have the time, I have the patience to see this sensational headline and click it and be frustrated and furious that now my algorithm is what it is, or that because I clicked that, the other person downstream of me that is also interested in Alex Bregman and the Astros, that just enhances Google, seconds ago somebody clicked this, you're probably interested in this too. And this is just a nightmare. It's a nightmare of how ideas are getting from the great chaos to people's brains, and not everybody is clicking and being like, oh, that headline doesn't match the reporting, or that headline was strictly put there to get Google to put it in front of you for the click. And I think that's happening countless times a day at enormous scale. And I just don't, if it's a people thing, if it's a technology thing, it kind of all goes back to we need religion. Because, again, I'm earnestly interested in what I'm interested in, and Google is earnestly interested in putting in front of me what I'm interested in. The problem is these people creating headlines for clicks. And they know better, and they ought to know better, but they do it anyways. And we just need some... We either all gotta be better as people, including and especially the content creators, which I don't think the incentives are there for them to do that. I think that they want money and to feed their kids, or probably to buy whatever they want to buy. So they're not incentivized to not do that. So then, if that's not going to happen, which is not going to happen, you're forcing my hand. You're putting me in a place where I have to go find you, content creator, and string you up by your toes. And take your ears. But then isn't that an overreaction on my part? Of course. But then what are we supposed to do? We're in this awful space. We're just terrible information ecosystem. And has it always been like that? I guess. Has it always been like that at this scale and pace? Abso-fucking-lutely not. And it's driving us crazy. Because this is just a narrow scope of baseball, of being made to believe things that aren't true in baseball. But it's happening everywhere. And what do you want me to do? Because I am going to freak out. And I am going to overreact. But it's because, it's not solving itself. We're not getting better as people. That's my rant.
I wonder if that's how Luigi Mangione sounded before he did what he did.
Or Ted Kaczynski.
I guess if you want to go back further, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But, it is there is no cure. We're too far gone. That's why I'm still detached. I still haven't looked at socials or news.
Last week was a good week not to be on socials.
I was real happy to not be out there. I'm just over here living my own life. The only thing I look at is on my phone, when I swipe on the home screen, Google will show me stuff I'm interested in. Again, I will see the same things as you, but I will know immediately and just whatever. That's just par for the course. But luckily, I've got it all trimmed down to only show me stuff that just has no bearing on anything at all. So
the best curated thing I have going is the Twitter following, so that it's only showing me things that I'm like, I chose to follow this source of information.
Mm-hmm.
So it's limiting in that, like, it's a source approach instead of like a topic approach.
Yeah.
But then it's also, I trust these sources. But yeah, it is driving me a little mad, because I do think it's like a foundational, fundamental issue. But then I start talking about it and I start thinking about it. And maybe it is more of a audience side, because maybe more people on the receiving end of these things should question and be more upset, and instead are just into being told what they already thought was right.
Yeah.
But I am more mad at the content creators for sure.
Yeah. I mean,
We've probably had this rant before.
yeah, it's a chicken and egg situation. Like, that's why I don't trust anybody anymore. I don't know. I just know I'm a lot happier not seeing all this stuff, not getting worked up all the time over it.
My life's so good that definitely certain elements of social media are the most like negative experience that I have
Mm-hmm.
On any given day or week. Like this calf cramp situation and the aching and pain that I'll be going through for days. Nothing. It's nothing compared to the things that I see on Twitter and elsewhere. And the frustration that it gives me.
Yeah. Well, what you gonna do?
Ash just texted me. We got that Bird Buddy thing that lets you see birds.
Yeah.
And the snow day was a good day for that.
Mm-hmm.
Seeing like cardinals and snow and all that. But she just what she texted me reminded me that all of our birds. Jeremy said something about this at one point, but we've been feeding these birds like every day, 3 feeders we fill up, and Ash is like, they'll die without us, which might be true. I don't know, but it's definitely true that all of these birds have gotten so fat, so fat, and they'll congregate in the front. We've got the oaks, which have their leaves all the time, and they're always in there. You just can't see them as well. But in the back, we've got some other tree that has shed all its leaves, and they're just all over the branches like Christmas ornaments. And it's like dozens of them, like 3 dozen, maybe 4 dozen doves just up there and shrunk up, trying to conserve heat. Just waiting.
Yeah, it was funny. Something that Jer said. He was like, I thought it was just like the same couple doves coming back and eating, but like then you sent that picture and it was like a whole army of them.
That's what she just texted, like all the birds are under the bird feeder. It's like a herd. I think of it as like cows. But there's so the doves do that kind of herd stuff of like all being in the trees together and being in the feeder like 5 at a time and on top of the feeder and below it like milling about. The smaller birds we got a different sort of feeder for them so that the doves wouldn't force them out. Mm-hmm. It's like a bell-shaped feeder that like you have to basically like grab onto it or land on the bell, which the little birds have no problem doing as they're eating it, and the doves are just too big to do it. But all these little birds, like I call them one-bite birds because you would just like shove them in your mouth and be done with them.
Right.
But they're also like round right now. So yeah, definitely a lot of birds are making it through this winter. That may not have otherwise, but they're definitely also much larger than they would have been otherwise on account of, I think very much on account of us.
Yesterday morning, I was outside, and there was a group of like 4 or 5 Carolina chickadees, just little small little birds just singing to me. And they have a pretty song.
Yeah.
But this morning I got up, and there were like 2 blue jays that were just real pissed at each other and just yelling it back and forth. And I was like, it was so loud. Like, it was deafeningly loud. Like,
yeah.
They were pretty close to me. And I was like, come on, guys. Can you chill out? It's early. And they squawked like 2 more times, and then they shut up.
Nice.
I was like, thanks.
I think blue jays are the real mockingbirds as far as, like, temperamentality.
They seem like assholes.
They're real jerks.
It sucks. I've always wanted to like blue jays, but the more I've spent time around them, the more I don't like them.
So I don't know if it depends on like what birds are, but definitely around us, they pretend to be hawks all the time. And it didn't take long at all to discover they were making like a long caw noise like a hawk does. You're like, oh, okay, you go outside, then you're going to see a hawk, you see a blue jay, not a big deal. But then there's unique hawk sounds. Like a hawk will do a thing that sounds like a monkey laughing.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, okay, that's gotta be a hawk. Or one that I would call like a squeaky wheel turning.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought forever, like, the Blue Jays did like one sound that the Hawks do. They do all the sounds that the Hawks do. Like, many times that I thought, like, oh no, we're looking for a hawk now. I didn't know the Blue Jays could, like, mimic, like, maybe all birds, but definitely hawks, like, through the entire range of the things that they do.
Mm-hmm.
That was frustrating. Another thing that Ash does is she'll feed the, just like regular bird seed in the feeders or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But she also has peanuts in the shell and out of the shell. And she'll put just a bunch of them, like we'll open the garage, and we've got that screen there or whatever, but she'll put them between the garage and the cars, and the Blue Jays, there's grackles, there's all kinds of like small bird that will, like the grackles like saunter over from like whatever yard or wherever they are, just like under the car, take their time, grab it, peck at it, maybe take it away, whatever. The littlest birds will land and hop, 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 and grab something and fly away, or hop, 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 peck, 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 and then fly away. Blue Jays have this like whole ceremony they go through, where I've often compared them to like the United States of birds, where they're like, "We're here, don't fuck with us." Like they park on top of the garage and just shout and shout and shout. And then they'll flutter down, grab whatever, fly away immediately. Like, as if they're in, like, hyper danger. Or, like, look how cool and tactical we are. Look how tactical we are. And it's like, we just saw, like, a bird a sixth your size. Just, like, adorably hop over and grab the peanut right next to that.
Right.
You're in no danger. Ah! Blue Jays are jerks.
Yeah.
They're also apparently, you can't tell them apart. Like, you can't tell adult Blue Jays from one another because they're too identical.
Mm.
It's just like, they're jerks in every way.
Yeah. It's real hard to get a crime to stick to an individual Blue Jay.
Alright, I'm glad we talked about birds. Got a little dark there.
Yeah.
But if Ashley texts me, that means she's awake. So I am probably going to go harass that poor lady.
Yep. What am I going to do? I'm going to probably take a shower. What time is it? Oh, I got plenty of time. We can do some more flying.
Fly in a boot.
And, Jerry and I are going to this place for lunch called, I really don't like the name. It's something dumb. It's some pizza place that, like, sells fancy, like, Detroit-style slices by the slice.
Mm-hmm.
So that should be interesting. It's called like. The name makes me so mad I have to tell you. What is it called?
That reminds me, we've been watching Detroiters. Did y'all watch that?
Detroiters?
Yeah.
Sounds familiar.
It's got that guy from I Think You Should Leave. Those very short sketches.
Well, I don't think we've seen this.
It's hysterical.
So the place we're going, I think it's supposed to be called Kizza Pizza. Kizza.
Okay.
Like, that's dumb. Don't do that. Trying to like play with the word pizza, like, you can't do it. Leave it alone.
What if it's their last name or something?
And then change your last name.
Change your last name. Okay.
Or just don't use it as the name of your pizza place. Yeah, that should be fun. And then post up and watch football while I do more flying. Slowly working my way to buying a Boeing 737 and starting an airline.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's a grind though. Like I'm probably gonna have to grind about 30 more hours before I get it. They're expensive.
30 hours over the course of like 3 weeks.
I mean, however long it takes. Like I usually don't play during the work week. It's usually on the weekends, but I usually go pretty hard on the weekends. Like yesterday, I probably flew about 6 missions. Got me about $5 million.
How many hours, Kelly?
Each mission is probably about 40 minutes. So, I did 6 of them yesterday. What was that? 5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
Sweet.
All right. Well, that's all I got. You want to say anything else?
Yeah, just NFL teams. May the odds be ever in your favor. Looking
Except
for
for
some fun. Have a good
Commanders.
time. From Kelly's perspective, except for the Commanders.
Alrighty, if y'all made it to the end, you know the drill. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, tell your friends.